Today on the Rushmore Show, we're celebrating Mardi Gras with locally famous chef Mike Sanders. Hey, you're gonna let me go real quick? I gotta catch some bees. Hey, throw me something, mister! Ah! Welcome to the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. We are celebrating Mardi Gras today. That is a huge holiday in the New Orleans, Louisiana area. Obviously, it's pretty well known. It's one of those big holidays. A lot of people come from out of state, out of town to come here and enjoy the festival, enjoy the parades, enjoy just kind of the whole atmosphere behind it. And we thought today one of the biggest ways that we can welcome people in, one of the main reasons people come here, obviously with Mardi Gras, is New Orleans cuisine. Our food.
Man, I'm hungry already.
It's one of the main reasons why I've stayed here, because I feel like if I move anywhere else, what am I going to eat? Like, what do we do anywhere else?
That's my problem here in Atlanta. I keep having you guys ship stuff over to me.
Yeah, and you've got a little selection of some things right there next to you.
These are just some of the favorite spices that I get to, put on our meals here. But man, I'm excited for this. Man, my mouth's watering already.
We are fully in swing for Mardi Gras, and we decided today that we want to bring on a guest, a really good friend of the Rushmore Show, Mike Sanders. Mike Sanders is here today. He is here from his kitchen today to kind of be our guest. So, Mike Sanders, thank you for being here today. Welcome to the Rushmore Show.
Hey, glad to be here. Glad to be, and I'm glad you guys want to talk food, because that's right up my alley,
Yeah, like we said, we bring in an expert. We would love for you to be here. So, Mike, just talk to the people for a second. Let us know kind of what it is you do. You have a YouTube channel, The Sanders Kitchen. Let us know a little bit about that, how it started, what it's all about, how people can find you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you real quick. Many years ago, very simply, I became a single dad. I had 3 sons. They were pretty young, and I had to learn how to do everything. And one of those things was put meal on the table. Yeah. So I learned how to cook from scratch, my friend. Let me tell you, I didn't have to learn. I didn't have to cook for a living. I never went to school, but I had to get in that kitchen and cook. So it started from there, and then I had this passion for learning, how do you put these different things together and make them all come out to taste so good, Yeah. A lot of people are like that. It's like, I see all these ingredients. How does he know how much of this and how much and what to put in? And, over the years, I've learned. It's just a constant learning process. So anyway, what happened was, I've been cooking for many years, and of course I had a specialty. And then, of course, my wife and I started a photography business many, many years ago, and I know I'm heading in a different direction, but there's a reason for that. And we had a pretty successful photography studio at the time, and a local chef named Frank Davis from WTV actually asked me to do some work for him, some pictures of him. And I did. And then, long story short, we became friends. Frank's one of those kind of guys, everybody loved Frank. Okay.
My dad used to love watching the fishing report. Gosh, that brings back memories.
Yeah. And so Frank had about 900,000 friends. Okay. They weren't just people that looked at his show. They were like part of his family. Okay. I'm not kidding you. We'd go out to eat, and people would just treat him like they've been knowing him for so long. And honestly, there's a good reason for me to bring that up too, and I'll get to that point. But anyway, I invited Frank and his wife over to come have dinner at our house. And I was scared to death because I didn't know if it was going to be good enough. Turns out he was floored with that meal. He was like, Mike, where'd you get this recipe? I said, man, I just winged it. And he said, well, put it down on paper. I want to do this recipe on Tuesday's show. So I went with him and we cooked that beef stew recipe. It was the first time we ever cooked on, and I was up on WWL. And I got to be honest with you, when that big old camera came in, I was like, what? I was always on the other side of the camera, you know. But anyway, you know, I went from there, you know, going and just watching him and doing what he did. And on the way home, he says, Mike, I had so much fun with you in the studio today. Why don't you come back and be my guest again? I said, are you kidding? I'd come every Tuesday. I loved it. He says, well, come on, every two. So I did it for 2 years.
Wow.
Nice.
I was on WWL TV. I was Chef Mike. And it was so cool to hear Sally Ann Roberts and Eric Paulson say, well, good morning. Welcome to the WWL morning show. And we had Chef Mike and Frank and Mike Davis, you know, listen to me, calling myself Mike Davis, Frank Davis and Mike Sanders in the kitchen. And I'm like, wow, listen to that, man.
Well, yeah, that's why we knew we wanted to bring you on. You know, we met at church, right? And yes. I remember I was so upset because some of my friends joined your cooking small group, and I couldn't make that day fit in because I saw those meals you guys were cooking and eating and breaking bread. And man, I was just really jealous because I had knew some of the history that you had some Frank Davis lineage, but I wasn't positive. But I knew that whatever was going down in that kitchen was happening.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I think we had a good time. We did go for a few semesters on that. But you know, let me just elaborate a little bit more. So we did you know, I was in with the Frank Davis thing, and I love cooking and I just YouTube. Yeah, I was always on YouTube. You know, cooking everything you can imagine. And there was this one guy on YouTube, and I'm gonna tell everybody who he is. His name is Jack Chaplin, but he goes by Daddy Jack's Cooking with the Blues. And the reason why I say Daddy Jack, that's what his channel was called in the early days. And he had 2 daughters, and his daughters obviously called him Daddy Jack. So, and that was the name of his channel. It's still there, but unfortunately, about a year ago, he passed away. But I made friends with this guy. We spoke on the phone quite a few times, and he encouraged me, get started on YouTube. So that's why I took the step out. I used my phone. Now we got cameras and lights all over the place, but I was using my phone to get started. If you ever look at any of them earlier videos, my face looked red like I was about to have a blood pressure problem, you know?
Listen, with some New Orleans food, that blood pressure could be an issue sometimes.
Yeah. I see you got some Zatarain's seasons over there. That'll do it for you. That guy encouraged me to get started. So, hey, if I'm cooking in my own kitchen, it's the Sanders Kitchen. That's where the Sanders Kitchen came from. So if anybody wants to look us up, I'll be thrilled to death if you look us up, watch a few videos, and subscribe, please. Isn't that what it's all about? That's what we want you to do. But
so what's the name? How can they find you exactly?
It's called The Sanders Kitchen.
So they can find you, Mike, at the Sanders Kitchen. That is your YouTube channel. Very excited for them to join your community, to like, share, subscribe, to comment, all of those things. But we have you here today on the Rushmore Show for a purpose, because what we want to do is we want to get into our Rushmore of New Orleans cuisine. And the way that that's going to work is Kirk and I are going to share our Rushmore as well, but we brought the expert in for a reason. Mike is going to give all of you guys a course. You're going to get educated today on what New Orleans cuisine really is. And let me just tell you, just like every Rushmore that we do, it is so difficult to narrow down to 4. Man, I could give you right now, probably, if I just, without even thinking, I can probably give you 20 things that just scream New Orleans cuisine to me. And,
dude, I was so heartbroken. I had to take some off. I texted you last night and I'm like, dude, you got it. We don't normally talk about our Rushmores ahead of time. I'm like, you got to tell me what's on your list so that I can make sure at least somebody honors one of these. And the good news was you had 3 of the ones I was like, ugh! You had 3 of them. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make this happen so that I can get all 8 of the ones I specifically want to be in here. So your Rushmore is kind of like my Rushmore too. It's just a big long mount.
Yeah, we just have one giant ranking system here of things. But hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our Rushmore of New Orleans cuisine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start this with my Rosie, my number 4 on my Mount Rushmore of New Orleans cuisine. And I'm just going to go with the classic, what I love. I love summertime. It is hot outside. For those that have not been to New Orleans or Louisiana, man, it's hot with like 46 T's at the end of it. It is hot. During a hot summer in New Orleans and Louisiana, nothing refreshes you more than a snowball. Man, I love snowballs so much. Man, you can go, there's a stand almost on every corner, in certain areas.
Now, don't give me that shaved ice or that Italian ice.
Now, and here's the thing, snowball is much different than where you get anywhere else. Some people will say, well, I can get a shaved ice. I can get this. It is not the same. Trust me, I've had shaved ice in other places, and it's the texture and the consistency of the ice that just makes it so different. If you have not been here and had an authentic snowball, you just haven't had that experience. Man,
Andy, what's your go-to flavor? What's your go-to flavor?
Yeah, so most places that you go to are going to have like 100 flavors, different things. If I'm just picking one, I love nectar. Nectar snowball to me is, and basically what nectar is sugar. It's sugar,
hummingbird, baby.
It's sugar and red, right? That's the two ingredients that are in nectar. But I love nectar snowballs. Man, sometimes some places you can go, you can get the stuffed snowball where they put the ice cream in the middle of it, or you get a little condensed milk, which basically is just adding more sugar on top of the sugar that you're already having. So if I'm not going nectar, I'm going wedding cake. That's my number 2 go-to for snowball flavor.
Mm-hmm. I'm an ice cream, just regular ice cream. I love cake batter. I like all the cream flavors like chocolate because I love putting that condensed milk on. But if I was to go opposite to cream, I'm usually either a spearmint or a bubblegum. Because it reminds me of being at SBBA at the ballpark, man. It reminds me of going down there. My dad ran the park, and I would go run in the booth, and they'd hand me a little small one and make me go away. And it would always be spearmint or bubblegum. So
absolutely. So Kirk, we're going to go to you next.
I'm going to start off with Boudin. Ooh. Boudin is just a staple down in Louisiana. I love going to my father-in-law's house, and every time I show up, there is boudin on the grill or something with some sides, and just like there's just this thing of just cutting it and eating it with the knife, like just boom. If you don't know boudin, it is it's a type of sausage, I guess, if you will, with rice and all kinds of fixings and liver and yada yada yada. But it is just amazing. But my favorite, I'm going to nail it down. My favorite type of boudin is Boudin Balls from Billy's, especially the one in Krotz Springs. Man, we travel by that all the time to go to camp, and it just impels me to stop with all the kids and run inside and grab Boudin Balls out the freezer. These things are just mouth-watering. They're amazing. Buddies of mine are like, every time you go to camp, stop and get some Boudin Balls. So I'm going to go with my Rosie. My number 4 is going to be Boudin.
And what's really cool about, you mentioned Billy's Boudin in Krotz Springs. If you go to the deli and you order the ones that are hot and like ready for you, a Boudin Ball. Now, first of all, a Boudin Ball is like, it's massive, right?
It's huge.
And it costs like $1.75 or something. I mean, it's like nothing. And it's like you have to split it into 2. They're huge.
So that is going to be my Rosie. Now, look, let's go to the real, what we're all waiting for. Let's hear the professional. And so since it's your first time on, Mike, we call our number 4 Rosie for Roosevelt. So who is your number 4 on your list?
Okay, so number 4 would probably, for me, be jambalaya.
Good.
Now, you might think, oh my goodness, how could that be number 4? That ought to be number 1. Well, no, I got some other pretty good ones here. So that's going to be my number 4. But let me tell you, jambalaya, for heaven's sakes, can be made so many different ways. And every time you talk to somebody, you hear Oh no, I make it with this and I put that in it. And then, you know what? That's why it's jambalaya, man. You put in what
Let's go.
You know, it's jambalaya. So they have jambalaya cook-offs and everything. But I tell you what, jambalaya, for me, it's got chicken and sausage, onions, bell pepper, celery, parsley, garlic, a ton of seasonings. I even put in, and look, this is a secret, so please don't tell anybody this, okay?
Okay, bro.
Yeah. Dressing mix. Go get some recharge dressing mix. You know what? Dressing mix is all of them livers, gizzards, kidneys, and all that stuff that you pull out of that chicken, and you go, what am I do with this? Well, what you do with it is you boil it down and you season it up and you chop it all up, and that's dressing mix. And they sell that. It's frozen. And I got to tell you, we served jambalaya at an event, and that's all we had was jambalaya. I was thinking, you know, and the people across the street from us was selling about a half a dozen things along with jambalaya. Well, I got to tell you, when somebody finally bought our jambalaya, they went around and told everybody how good it was, and we sold out. So I have a great jambalaya recipe, but honestly, that would be number 4 because I got 3 other real good ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just want to celebrate you, Mike. That was the one that didn't make it on the 8 that I was trying to figure out how to get in. I need a bigger mountain. Thank you for bringing in jambalaya.
You know, I kind of feel like Paul Prudhomme. I'm sitting here. I'm usually standing, and I said, no, I'm going to go ahead and sit today. And Paul was a New Orleans chef. Look him up. And when in his younger days, he was a little overweight, you know, maybe a lot. And he just used to love to sit and cook. You know, I kind of feel like Paul Prudhomme right now. But Paul Prudhomme has a little video on how to cook some jambalaya. Man, I'll tell you what, if you want to learn how to cook jambalaya, just look at that video and take some notes. You will be making jambalaya.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Very awesome. Very
awesome.
Let's
move on to our TJ Jazzy Jeff.
Let's go, TJ Jazzy Jeff. Andy, who is your number 3, buddy?
My number 3, my TJ Jazzy Jeff. Just kind of like Mike just said, where it's like, wow, this is only number 3. Trust me, if it made the top 4 New Orleans foods, these all could easily be a number 1. But we have to have some kind of ranking system here. So my TJ Jazzy Jeff is a staple here down in Louisiana is gumbo.
The kitchen sink, baby.
I love gumbo. Okay, now there's different ways you can prepare gumbo. The traditional, you're going to have a seafood gumbo or a chicken and sausage. That's usually the 2 that you get. Now you can get a little bit of variances between them and different things, but to me, it's got to have okra in it to be gumbo.
Slimy okra.
Got to have that.
Tell me why it doesn't have okra in it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I feel like I'm like giving batting advice to Derek Jeter. But here's the thing: it's gumbo. Isn't the African word for okra gumbo?
Exactly.
Yes, I got it. All right, you can count that because I think we're going to do trivia later. You can count that for my points, Kirk. If you know, anyway. But no, it's got to have okra in it. It's got to have. To me, I like chicken and sausage gumbo. Now I love seafood gumbo too. So you put whatever gumbo you put in front of me, I'm going to eat it. I'm a big rice fan. So also the variance between the ratio of gumbo liquid and stuff to your rice changes for people. Some people go crazy. This is a New Orleans thing and put the potato salad in it too.
Hot take. There's a hot take.
You know, that's another thing. So you could do so many different things with gumbo. To me, it's chicken and sausage gumbo. I love sausage. Man, I love it. But again, like I said, I will absolutely scarf down a bowl of some shrimp gumbo too.
My favorite gumbo is when it has like crab legs and claws and things in it. And just, I mean, I've got to like dig things out and eat separately on top of it and then put it back in.
So I'm going to elaborate on that because, see, what you need to do to make a great chicken sausage gumbo is you need to reserve a portion of your sausage, not a big portion, but a small portion. When you're sauteing all those veggies down, you want to add that sausage in there. And I'm going to tell you why. It gives you another dimension of flavor. See, when you fry that sausage down, all of a sudden it starts tasting different than when you just cook it in, and you add the rice later. But look, you want to add all your ingredients. You got onions, bell pepper, celery, parsley. I put a ton of that stuff, garlic. But I don't put it all in up front. I don't put it in all up front.
Yeah.
So I start cooking it with the ingredients, and then I reserve some for a little bit later, and I start adding. It gives you another dimension of flavor.
Yeah.
So check that out. Dimensional cooking. Dimensional cooking.
That's awesome. That's great. So my TJ Jazzy Jeff, like I said, gumbo in any kind of way you want to make it. So let's move to yours, Kirk. Who's your TJ Jazzy Jeff? What's your TJ Jazzy Jeff of New Orleans cuisine?
Yeah, my TJ Jazzy Jeff was real easy. It's the first one that I thought of that needed to go on the list regardless. I am going, look, Mike, you came out, you showed us what type of coffee you had earlier, right? CDM. Yep. And I'm drinking my coffee, but it's not CDM. But I'm going to go with beignets, powder dusted CDM coffee at Cafe du Monde. Like one of my favorite things to do when I go to New Orleans is, especially if it's early in the morning or late at night, there used to be, prior to me meeting Jesus, I had a bit of a nightlife, and we would either you start your day off or you end your night off with stopping and getting a plate of these beignets. Now, guys, I know y'all love donuts. These are fried square donuts that have about this much powdered sugar on it. And if you're walking out of this place and your whole chest is not covered in white, floury goodness, right? This powdered sugar, you have not had the full experience. The cool thing is you can go around and watch them cook them in the side and these big old vats of grease right there over by the French market. So I don't really go out and party anymore, but I definitely go out there to New Orleans for the culture and the shopping and the cathedral and all that stuff. And you have to stop and get a coffee and beignets. So that is my number 3, TJ Jazzy Jeff, New Orleans beignets from Cafe du Monde. That is it, buddy.
Fantastic. I love beignets. And just like you said, don't wear black. If you're going to Cafe du Monde, don't wear black. Oh, you can wear white. It hides it a little bit.
Be careful when you go to bite not to suck in, because you will get totally dusted through your nose and everything else.
Yeah, and everybody's coughing and you see the big big puffs of powdered sugar. Yeah, that's good. I love that. I love Cafe du Monde.
All right, Mike, your TJ Jazzy Jeff for old Thomas Jefferson. He's our number 3. So TJ Jazzy Jeff, what you got?
Old Thomas Jefferson, I got to tell you, I'm going to probably blow you away when I tell you that on my number 3 list is probably on your list too. Probably number 1 is red beans and rice. Everywhere you go in this city, on a Monday, there's a red beans and rice special, right? Why? Monday, red beans and rice. Even in people's homes, they're cooking red beans and rice on a Monday. Love red beans and rice. When I was a kid, Mom would get that ham bone, and don't just try to put that ham bone in your red beans and cook it from scratch. What you want to do is put your ham bones in a pot of water and boil it for like 2 or 3 hours. Simmer, get it up to a boil, simmer it, and let that ham flavor come out in that water. And then that bone's going to be soft and tender, the marrow and the knuckle and all that. And you can use that in your beans, but use that water as your stock to make your beans.
Wow, that's good.
A little tip of the day for you right there.
Come on. We're getting educated. I love it so much. That's fantastic.
Now, we also have pickled pork. So you got to use some pickled pork in your beans.
Ooh, that sounds like grandma's cooking there, baby.
Yes, indeed. You can find that on the grocery shelf, pickled pork. But hey, you're right about the sausage, okay? Smoked sausage, andouille sausage. If you can't get andouille, use some smoked sausage.
Yeah. Great. Awesome. So, hey, I'm going to move on. We're now about to the halfway point.
Halfway, baby.
So we're going to move on to Link, Abraham Lincoln, number 2. We call it Link. And I am going to actually introduce our very first Rushmore.
Let's go, Rushmore.
For those who don't know, we've been doing this for a while. Rushmore is, hey, we've got something the same from one person's Rushmore to another. And our Rushmore didn't take a lot of time here. I'm going to go with red beans and rice for my link.
Beans and rice, Mama even serves us sometimes twice.
This is my number 2. I love it for every reason that Mike just mentioned. Got to have the sausage in it. Just like my gumbo, I like a good bit of rice to beans ratio. I like more rice. I just am a big, listen, when I was a kid, I would just eat a bowl of buttered rice and I'd be in heaven, right?
Yeah.
So I love rice. Got to have the andouille sausage on the side of it. Some restaurants you go to, you get the red beans and rice with the fried chicken also, which is that brings it to a whole nother level. But if I'm just talking about red beans and rice, love it so much. Here's what I do with mine. And this is not me being a professional at all. So Mike was and this is not me cooking it, but this is just how I like to eat it. I just mentioned my rice ratio to beans, a little bit more on the rice side of things. My second thing that I do, I love crumbling cornbread.
Maybe I ought to eat your cornbread.
In my red beans and rice. It's something my grandpa did growing up, and I just kind of wanted to be like my grandpa, so I did that as much as I could. And then for my hot sauce, I see, Kirk, you got some Tabasco next to you, and a couple different sauces there too.
I love it. Tabasco's not always my go-to, but there are some really good ones in Louisiana. I just don't have a bunch here.
What I like to do is I like to take the hot pepper sauce that's got like the little peppers in it. It's almost more like just vinegar.
Beanies or whatever they're called.
I don't know. They're like those little tiny skinny. Mike can probably tell me better what it is, but it's that pepper sauce that's like a clear sauce, but you see all the peppers
like
inside.
Pickled peppers in vinegar or something.
What it is, it's either a cayenne pepper or it could even be a Tabasco pepper, but probably not. It's more like a cayenne. It's a long pepper, and you just pour the vinegar. Look, you can make your own. Get you some cayenne pepper, shove them in a bottle, pour vinegar over it, a little hot vinegar, keep it capped for a month or so, and guess what? You got the same product. But you know what's interesting? We make our own hot sauce. We actually did you know that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned that a while
now we
back.
all do, and we need to find out how we can purchase it.
Well, we're going to make that happen for you.
Awesome.
Look, all my plants died, so that doesn't mean I don't have any peppers. I got a lot of peppers, but yeah, we could sell. I call it caliente. It means hot in Spanish, but I was just looking for a good catchy name. But this is all made with Tabasco peppers, and it's really, really good. There's a lot of people from my church that buy it.
Well, I may switch up how I do my red beans and actually use that for my hot sauce now. So I got to get my hands on some of that. But yeah, so anyway, link, my number 2 is red beans and rice. Love it so much.
Can I elaborate on that?
Please do. Yes.
Hey, folks, don't forget, you made the jambalaya already, right? You got some leftovers? Put the red beans over the jambalaya. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
There you go.
Game changer.
Wow. I don't think I've tried that, but why have I never done that? That sounds awesome.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
You got to try it, man. You got the jambalaya already made. You got some leftovers in the fridge. Boom. Don't forget to soak them beans, man. You got to soak them beans overnight.
Yeah,
look at the recipe on YouTube. I guarantee you can cook it that way every time to be perfect. You don't have to worry about the beans not being cooked or the beans overcooked. Perfect recipe.
Wow.
So Mike, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
This is a hot take. How do you feel about Blue Runner?
You know what? You know what? If you were camping and you wanted some beans, maybe, open them up. And what you do, okay, this is what you do. You open up the can, heat it up. While you're heating it up, you cut up some onions and a little garlic. Don't worry about everything else. Little onions and garlic, mix that together and fry some sausage. By the way, let me give you a little tip on your sausage. Go ahead and cut some slits into the sausage about every maybe quarter inch. Okay, don't go all the way through. Deep fry it for 2 minutes. And I'm going to tell you, you got awesome sausage for your red beans. If you've never tried it.
My favorite is when it's like long links and it's just like sitting on top of the bowl. You got to like go over it to get it. Like,
yeah. Yeah, but when you.
Red beans and rice, baby.
Oh, okay. Red beans. I'm telling you, that's a
So those are three classic staples that I'm glad somebody in here said. Jambalaya, gumbo, red beans and rice. That's probably the staples on most people's lists, to be honest. So yeah, so I'm going to jump into my link, right? My link, Lincoln number 2. I'm going to go, it's Mardi Gras, babe. And I absolutely you can only usually get it one time a year. I'm going to go with king cake. Woo! King cake is going to be my number 2. I love sugar. We know this. We've talked about this in prior episodes. King cake to me is I love Mardi Gras. I love the whole idea of it, going out with especially you can find family spots to go to. Not everybody's into it. But in Mardi Gras, probably the best thing that happens is the season of the king cake. You get the baby in it, and you get a baby, you got to buy the next one. I remember going to school and like trying to find the baby, so my parents had to buy a king cake. But now, back when I was a kid, my parents really didn't go to bakeries to get one. Mackenzie's was probably the one to get. Yeah, we just got the Walmart brand, dude, and I absolutely. I'm here to tell you, I know I think it's underrated. I think Walmart brand, all of them are just fine. People like Randazzo's, that's a lot of icing. You mentioned Paul's earlier. They put like almonds and all kinds of stuff on it. There's that Dong Fong, you got to stand in line for like hours to get. If I'm going to go with a king cake though, I'm usually just going to go where I'm at, Walmart, boom, get it. And it's usually gone before like the next day. Everybody is and here's a hot take. You have to leave the knife in the box. Got to leave the knife in the box for the next person. So I'm going to go number 2, my link, king cake.
So question, Kirk, about king cake. I think we talked about it earlier. Stuffed king cake, plain king cake. If you have your choice of king cake?
I'm okay with both. My favorite of all of them is when they have cream in it, like a Bavarian cream or something. That's probably my favorite. But I love cream cheese. I love. When it comes to the fruity side, like a fruit stuffing, I lean towards strawberry more than the others. But a plain cinnamon roll cake, that is fine with me. I love it. It's just like sugar on bread. I mean, that's what it is. It's a snowball on bread, bud. That's what it is. Yeah. So I love it.
I like raspberry cream cheese. Raspberry cream cheese filling to me is.
What does it mean when you get the baby? What does it mean when you get the baby?
You got to buy the next king cake.
It symbolizes in the beginning. I mean, we were talking about baby Jesus and all that stuff. King cake or not king cake, but Mardi Gras is our comes from our Catholic roots from over talking about getting ready for Ash Wednesday and Lent, and so it has spiritual and religious beliefs. But in New Orleans, if you get the king cake and you grab the baby, it is pertinent that your butt goes to the store and gets the next king cake. It is absolutely, you are tag, you're it. When are you bringing it?
I love it.
So a funny story real quick. I just want to mention one thing about king cake now that you brought that up. When Courtney and I did our gender reveal for Amelia for our second born,
was it a king cake?
It was a king cake. So what we did, we had no idea, boy or girl. I think Courtney's mom was the only one who knew. And we asked her, get a king cake, and we want the baby that's in it to either be a pink or a blue baby.
Oh, okay.
And we had family there, and everybody got a slice, and everybody's like eating or whatever. And it's like, whatever color you found, that was the gender. So it was just, it's one of those, I guess, millennial.
So if you got that baby, are you supposed to bring the next baby
I don't think anybody ever brought another king cake. I think we're due a king cake.
That king cake's taboo. Grandma gets the baby.
Yeah. So anyway, fun story. We love king cake.
So that's my link. King cake, staple. Mike, remember when we kind of didn't cheat, but like there were so many things. I knew that there was some red beans and rice and jambalaya and gumbo. I'm like, oh. But king cake was already on my list. My 1 and 2 were already on my list. I was worried about my 3 and 4. So let's jump into Mike, the professional, telling us what the exact ones should be when you show up in New Orleans this year for Mardi Gras. What should they be looking to go and get, Mike? Number 2, your link.
They're going to go right to Central Grocery and go get a muffalata.
Woo! I love it.
Let's go.
They're going to go get a muffalata. Let me tell you, I did a little research on that. Muffalatas from Central Grocery opened 1906. And the reason why their muffaladas are mainly cold is because they were serving them to the working people, the people that were working out there in the city. They would go over there, order a sandwich, and they would just make it up, cut it all up, and hand it to them. And they had this big old, but let me tell you, muffalata means round bread. So you could take that round bread and you could put anything you want on it. You still have a muffalata, if you can believe that. But if somebody in New Orleans said muffalata, basically what you're going to have is you're going to have your half. It's probably cut in half anyway for you, okay? And on the bottom, you're going to drizzle a little olive oil, some real good olive oil. Then you're going to take this olive salad, which is really just a whole bunch of olives, celery, pimento, carrot, and spices in the oil base. And you're just going to put some of that, and your bread's going to get a little oily, okay? It's the way it is. That's part of the deal. Then you're going to load it up with mortadella, ham, salami, provolone. I had to write it all down. Swiss cheese. And then you're going to throw that in the oven, and you're going to bake it until it's nice and, the cheese is melted and all that. Mm-hmm. Usually they throw it in a pizza oven or something, but, any oven, I guess. And then you take the same thing on top. You put that olive salad, and then boom. And you even drizzle a little olive oil on it. And then the whole thing gets baked until it's crispy. When you cut into it, it's making that cracking sound.
A muffalata is classic. I was telling this to Andy. One of my favorite things when you go to a wedding is to get those mini muffaladas. And man, I'll stack those things up. I'll make extra stacks of sandwiches. But the muffaladas, they're so good. They are so good. Yeah. So, hey, we're going to jump into George, man. So we're going to go G-Dub. Andy, let's finish this show off right. Let's tell everybody who our Georges are. What is your number one go-to New Orleans cuisine? How's it got to be?
Yeah. So this is it. This is the pinnacle. To me, everywhere I go, I'm looking for this. Okay. And let me just bring you back to a time and place. I grew up on the West Bank of New Orleans in Terrytown. That was where I spent my childhood through about fourth grade or so in there. And we lived about a block away from this gas station. Now, let me give you guys, everybody in the country, you're going to be like, what's happening? Some of the best eating that you're going to do in this area happens in a gas station. I don't know what it is.
New Orleans gas stations, baby. New Orleans gas stations. They got it.
It's not like a racetrack. It's not like just a normal whatever gas station you guys have in your area. And sometimes the more sketchy the gas station looks, that food is going to be good. If they got some lights that are kind of flickering and whatever, you're going to be eating good. We lived about a block away from, and I don't know if they're still existing. There may be one or two still, but it used to be called Danny and Clyde's. Danny and Clyde's was a gas station / deli that existed in the area. And we would go to Danny and Clyde's, and I would always order a shrimp po' boy. Now, a shrimp po' boy is, let's go. For those that don't know, right? It's called po' boy because it originated way back in the day. It was for poor boys, right? I mean, it's literally the name was poor boy. You had bread. In fact, the original po' boy, correct me if I'm wrong, was a French fry po' boy with maybe just a little bit of like meat juice on it, right? It was what they had left over. They put between two slices of bread and they were able to eat it. Anyway, they expanded, and now it's really kind of a staple. It's kind of high end. In fact, sometimes if you're a po' boy, you can't afford a po' boy at some places. But I go to a shrimp po' boy, and specifically Danny and Clyde's. I remember I had this memory of they put so much fried shrimp on this po' boy that by the time you were done eating this thing, what fell off was a shrimp platter.
The debris, baby, the debris, man.
You had enough to feed for your next meal with shrimp. And to me, a po' boy is mayonnaise, lettuce, tomatoes, whatever you're putting on it. Some people do roast beef po' boys. I'm a shrimp po' boy fan. You put the shrimp, and then you sprinkle some hot sauce on it, and on a nice loaf of French bread. You just can't beat it. Many people, I'm a big Leidenheimer bread fan. That's another local thing. Just that chew and that crunch, that pull from the bread. But you can't go wrong. I love po' boys. Shrimp po' boy is my absolute go-to, and it's my George on my list of New Orleans cuisine.
So I got to be honest. I gotta be completely transparent, as I always am. My number 4 that was on my list last night was a roast beef po' boy, with the debris and just your hands going through it, like, because the gravy is just amazing. My opinion. Well, probably more nostalgic reasons. Check in, check out, which was like a gas station, is where I used to get them. They're all basically closed. But there is something about Bear's roast beef po' boys, man, that those guys have it. They know what the heck they're doing. But the debris, everything that's fallen off and just eaten, dude, po' boys are. Man, they were so good. Don't give me no hoagies, no grinders, no subs, no. Yeah,
it's
po'
different.
boy.
They hit different. Po' boy is much different than sandwiches you'll get anywhere else. So yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my 4. I brought in Boudin because of that, and man, it was close. It was so close to getting on my list.
So Kirk, let's wrap up your Rushmore. Let's move to your George. Who do you have for your George on your Rushmore? What do you have for your George on your Rushmore of New Orleans?
Number one, also a seasonal thing. And I'm probably going to disappoint Mike because red beans and rice didn't make mine. It was on the cusp. Jambalaya, gumbo, red beans and rice. Those are the 4 I was like fighting to get in. But right when I thought about this, right off the bat, gotta have it, is a crawfish boil at my best friend's house during a ball game or a Mardi Gras or an event or a baby shower or whatever. But here's the thing. Crawfish boil is not necessarily, I mean, it's what we call it, but to me, crawfish are amazing. I never fill up with them. Never. I mean, I feel like I could continue to eat 25, 30 pounds, but all the fixins that go with it, the potatoes, the corn, the mushrooms, the onions. Some people put hot dogs in it. Other people put full, like cauliflower. I've heard pineapple and oranges. Like, you throw up everything, and listen, all of it's edible. I mean, you're like scooping off the bottom of the melted celery that's hanging around. Everything is good. It's so great. But what I love most about a crawfish boil, this is it. This is what made it the George for me. This is what made it the number 1. It is almost impossible to have a crawfish boil and not break bread with your favorite people. You never really have a crawfish boil for me and the wife. I mean, we'll stop and get some crawfish from the store. It's not the same. Like actually having a boil, you're calling everybody. It's around something, and just the back and forth of just loving on your friends. And that's what makes New Orleans the best. I moved here to Atlanta, and I would say the thing that New Orleans just absolutely trumps Atlanta mostly about is the culture of community. There's just, I mean, like, we will surround around something and make a reason to eat these mud bugs, right? These crawfish. So crawfish boil, especially if it's at somebody else's house and they're paying, that's my George.
Yeah. Can I tell you, you know the historical reason of why we do crawfish boils in a gathering setting, right? Do you know that? That's because you're unshellfish.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not. I was ready. I was like, I had to do it. I had to do it. Me.
I'm gonna have to use that one. That's nice.
All right, so Mike, here we go.
Mike,
we'll wrap it
let's
up.
finish her up, baby. What's your George?
What is the number 1?
I'm gonna tell all of you guys something. Okay, we all know you can't go to New Orleans without getting some gumbo, but you already mentioned gumbo, right?
Okay.
But that was my number 1 because you can make gumbo so many different ways. But I'm going to put a twist on you.
All right.
And let me tell you what the twist is. You never said the word étouffée. You can have shrimp étouffée, crawfish étouffée. But let me tell you, it's all about the base, man. Wait a minute. That's a song, right? But the étouffée, you got to simmer that thing 45 minutes. And then you put your shrimp or your crawfish in, whatever you want later. And it's going to be a nice stick. And you like that rice? Man, put some long grain white on the plate, put that étouffée over it. And wait, let me throw another twist. You twisting right, you twisting left. Don't forget, we New Orleans natives make the best crawfish bisque. What is crawfish bisque? That's where you take the tails and you chop them up and you saute the onions, the bell pepper, celery, parsley, garlic, olive oil, put some butter in there. You put all the seasons in. And when you get all of that sauteed down, you put your tails in it, and then you put a little breadcrumb, you tighten it all up, a little cream, you know? And then, man, when it comes, then you got this gooey, beautiful crawfish mixed right, and then you take the crawfish heads. You got to knock the little tip off and the tail off, clean them all up real good. You stuff them, put a little breadcrumb on top. You got a whole platter of these things. You put them in the oven and kind of brown them up a little bit. And when you put that on top of that crawfish bisque dinner, you've got, let me tell you, that is what they call a labor of love.
When people from New Orleans are like, what on earth is this man talking about?
Crawfish bisque. We're going to do that on our show. I'll guarantee you that.
Oh
Let's
my gosh.
do it.
Let me tell you right now, I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience. Just listening, to you talk. It's a religious, I don't know what's, oh man.
Mike, here's the thing. We need a Grace on your show, and we need to come in and see how this stuff is made. That's what we need to do. Because I'm dying right now. I want to eat so bad.
Oh, that's
fantastic. Here, and I'll cook up some crawfish bisque for you guys. But we got to do that in season now. Well, I don't know. We could do it out of season.
We'll plan it. Like what man, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right.
This has been an amazing time, right? Being able to look, there's one thing that in the Rushmore show, we talk about movies, we talk about songs, music, we talk about all these things. I think the thing I'm most passionate about is food. Oh, if you're down here from New Orleans, there's no way that you cannot be passionate about food. It's one of the drawing factors that just brings people in. I mentioned it at the top of the show that it's like, man, if I go anywhere else, I don't know what I'm going to eat. And you know what's crazy about Louisiana? So we're talking specifically New Orleans, kind of Southeast Louisiana cuisine. Some of that Boudin, you can even get and rice out there towards the Southwest area too. But it's like you go to different areas in Louisiana and the culture is different, right? It's probably like that way in many states too. But
go to Acadiana. Acadiana thinks we don't cook at all. Like you guys, your gumbo's terrible. What are you talking about?
They put tomatoes in theirs, and there's all kinds of different techniques and different twists on things that you can do. And
so I learned this, right? Tomatoes is more Creole, not Cajun, right? Right, Mike? Am I right?
Oh man, let me tell you, that's a controversial issue. Well, I love my tomatoes. I would say that you're right, because Cajun folks, authentic Cajun people, man, let me tell you, if you tell them you put tomatoes in your jambalaya or
your gumbo,
they're going to think you're crazy. I did it. I put tomatoes in my gumbo and my chicken sausage gumbo too. And they go, well, you don't put no tomato. I tell you what, you put some Alta Cacina tomatoes in there and see what happens. You find out. Mwah.
Listen, I do not discriminate when it comes to food put on my plate. There are very few things that I'm particular about. So you give me a bowl of gumbo with tomatoes in it, I guarantee you it's getting eaten up.
I guarantee.
I guarantee.
Hey, it's been a great, Mike, again, thank you so much for coming today and spreading your knowledge and wisdom on when it comes to cuisine. Hey, look, everybody out there, make sure, go
check it out.
Check out the Sanders Kitchen on YouTube. You guys, do you have a Facebook page too, or is it just your personal Facebook page you share it from?
Oh, I have a Facebook page called The Sanders Kitchen.
Yeah,
Sanders Kitchen.
I post to all of my YouTube videos.
Awesome.
Support him, follow him, get those recipes, learn how to cook for real.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure, man.
And spreading the knowledge.
Man, it was so much fun.
Hey,
let's have you on again down the road when we talk some more food.
Great. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, it's ready for our next segment, our final segment. You know, each and every week here on the Rushmore Show, we try and introduce new things, new ways to have fun with me and Andy. And today we are going to bring you some good old-fashioned trivia.
Woo! I'm excited for trivia. I don't know how good I'm going to do, but it's going to be fun regardless.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. So welcome to our new segment called G-Dubs Blazin Trivia Night. So, look, this is how it's going to be. We are going to give you, I got 5 categories, 3 questions each, 15 questions. When I name the question out, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to reply your answer. It is a one answer. It's not multiple choice. You give me the answer. If you know it, within 10 seconds, wherever I'm at, I'm going to give you the amount of points for that. So for instance, I'm going to say, what are the Mardi Gras colors? 10, 9, purple, green, and gold. You're going to get 8 seconds, 8 points. Does he got it? So that's how we're doing it. 15 questions. We're going to see what's the best score you can come out. So here are the 5 categories for everybody watching at home. It is food, sports, or the New Orleans Saints, because that's the real one. History and heritage, Mardi Gras, because that's what the whole point of this show is right now. And probably one of my favorite things that New Orleans has got, music. So we're going to go 5 categories: food, Saints, music, history, Mardi Gras. Here we go.
Locked in.
Starting with the food category.
Okay.
Brennan's is the creator of what creation of dessert?
Brennan's is the creation of what type of dessert? Banana Foster?
Bing! 6 seconds. 6
Did I
points.
get it right? Okay, good.
Yep. Bananas Foster. Brennan's. All right, here we go. What famous dish takes from the name throw something together?
Throw something together. Jambalaya?
Yes, that's 7.
Yeah, come on.
Let's go. This is an easy one. Last section for food. Give me the holy trinity of Cajun food.
Onions, celery, and bell peppers?
Bing! 7 points.
Good.
We're going to roll into our favorite pastime here in New Orleans. It's watching the New Orleans Saints.
Who dat, baby?
Number 1.
Right.
Name me the QB of the first ever playoff victory.
Bobby Hebert. No? Oh, crap. Aaron Brooks.
4 seconds. Let's go. 4 points. I believe it was 1990 or 91.
Hebert didn't win a playoff?
I don't think he won a playoff game.
Okay.
Nope. I think he went to the playoffs, but he didn't win it.
That's right.
All right. Give me the Saints' first season.
1967.
Bing! 9 seconds. Way to go. All right. 9. Before the Superdome, in 1975, where did the Saints play?
Tulane Stadium.
Bang! 10 seconds.
I had to make up for the Aaron Brooks one. I'm trying to make up some ground now.
Yeah. All right, history and heritage.
All right.
What president was a hero of the Battle of New Orleans and has his statue in front of the St. Louis Cathedral?
Andrew Jackson.
Hey, 9 points.
Woo! Come on, I'm feeling it.
You feeling it? My pen's not writing. Which for president executed the Louisiana Purchase in 1803?
Jefferson?
Yeah!
DJ Jazzy. Yes, baby.
Boom. All right. Now this one's an easy one, I think. More history and heritage.
Okay.
National Historic Park with the oldest collection of mature oak trees, 600 years.
That's Central Park. No, not Central Park. That's New. That's oh my gosh. I'm blanking on the name. 0. Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? It's the park. I know Audubon Park? No.
Park! City Park, baby!
Why did I say Central?
Bang. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt for future.
I'm going to need some tins.
That one's going to hurt. That one's going to hurt. All right, we're moving into Mardi Gras. Here's your Mardi Gras category. What does the purple, green, and gold stand for?
Royalty, right? Wealth. No. Health. Why do I not know this? I know it. I feel like I know it. But isn't purple a royal color?
It is.
King.
But what is that? What does the king got?
Power?
Hey, I'll give you a half a point or a third of a point. So, all right.
I'm not doing so hot right now.
You get 1/3 of a point. Justice, faith, and power. Justice, faith, and power. All right. So you got 1/3 on 1 second. All right. Here we go. What city had the very first Mardi Gras parade?
Mobile, Alabama.
Hey, that's a 10-pointer. Way to get back in this thing.
Trying to find my way back in.
Here you go.
Okay.
What famous Mardi Gras saying is "Let the good times roll"?
Laissez le bon temps rouler.
Oh, there we go. 10-pointer. All right, 10 points. Last one. Last round. Music. New Orleans music.
Music make you lose control.
Balls. All right. Which New Orleans brass band was founded by Tuba Phil Frazier, Keith Frazier, and Kermit Ruffins?
Heritage. I didn't hear the first part of the question, but the.
All right, I'll start over. Which New Orleans brass band was founded by Tuba Phil Frazier, Keith Frazier, and Kermit Ruffins?
Oh my gosh. I have it on my tip of my tongue. Rebirth Brass Band?
Boom! Okay. 4 seconds! There we go.
I had it on the tip of my tongue. I knew it.
Yep, Rebirth Brass Band. All right, 2 more questions. Jazz was born in what district of New Orleans?
French Quarter? The Jazz District? The 9th Ward? The lower 9th Ward? The CBD? I'm naming every district.
Storyville. Man, that was news to me.
That's true. Yes. Okay, I get it. Yeah. I remember that.
Storyville. All right, you ready for a 10-pointer? You're going to get this one for sure. Here we go. Finish it off. What musician, nicknamed Satchmo, is our airport named after?
Louis Armstrong.
Bang! 10 points. 10 points. So let's add them up. 83 1/3.
83 1/3 out of 150. So I'm over the halfway mark. Okay, that's respectable. That's for our first Blazin Trivia. 83 1/3 is now the benchmark.
Points. Way to go. There's the new record. Bing, bing, bing. 83 1/3. So, did you learn anything today?
I learned that sometimes the easy questions in life are the most difficult ones.
Oh, come on. We could preach that. City Park. How many times you spent in City Park watching a concert?
Bro, I've been to City Park so many times. I don't know why I just blanked on the name.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest.
I kind of felt like you weren't going to get Storyville. I wouldn't have got that answer because it's kind of an older term. And the Justice, Faith, and Power one, I knew that one was going to be tough. I was just hoping you kind of knew.
I known that one too. But
so anyways, here we go.
Well, here's what I did, Kirk. This is what I did. We're going to use this segment again in the future for whatever topic we're talking about. I didn't want to set the bar so high that it was unachievable. See, I'm a man of the people. Like, I want you, for the next time you do it, to feel like you have a chance. So really what I did is that's totally the reason why. 9
seconds apiece. I mean, that's giving you a second to hurry up and boom, get the answer. I think probably the unattainable would be 9 seconds times 15. What is that? 90, 135. Anything over 135, you're blazing. You're blazing, right? So
83 1/3 is respectable.
Yeah, I think it's respectable. Hey, well, look, guys, this episode of the Rushmore Show has been absolutely fun and phenomenal. We had our great friend from way back and who visited us at our church, been a great church member, but a supporter in our community, been on TV, man, knows way more about food than we ever will. Mike Sanders. Make sure, again, you check out his show, The Sanders Kitchen. But look, man, I am going to challenge you guys ending the show. I'm going to give you guys a question, if you will. First off, what's your Rushmore of New Orleans cuisine if you've been there? But even better, if you haven't been there, what is the number one thing in New Orleans that you want to do? Tell us about that down in the comments, and we would love to hang out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things. But man, mainly just spend time in the community. Comment on other folks' stuff. It has been amazing these first 9 episodes, and just a precursor of what's coming next. March is going to be all music, and I can't wait, man. If you love music, you need to jump into March and check them out. We are definitely not going to hit these, and people are going to be angry. So any final words for you, Andy?
Man, it was a blast today. So excited for it. Just some couple things like to answer your question, maybe to give some people some ideas. Some of my favorite things to do in New Orleans, the Aquarium of the Americas is amazing. Audubon Zoo.
Haunted tour.
You can do those. You can do swamp tours down here on those boats. Maybe you could just hit up all the places we talked about and eat all the food. Listen, you can spend You can spend a week here in New Orleans and just tip of the iceberg get what kind of food and culture. But yeah, so many amazing, fun things to do. Take a ferry ride, man, just so many awesome things. So thank you guys for supporting the Rushmore show. Thank you again to Mike Sanders. Check out the Sanders Kitchen. And this is the Rushmore show, where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more. Peace out.
See you guys next time.